What's up, everyone? Mike back with you again on another episode of One and Done with Zeke. This is now going to be part 3 of our current mini-series that we have going on DBS collectibility and different ways we just feel that Bandai could improve it. So let's continue where we left off. So here's one that's possibly controversial. What do you think about if increasing or decreasing the number of secrets per set? And so just for people out there that may not know, the very first set that came out, there was actually no concept of a secret rare. Then a secret rare was introduced in set 2, which was known to be 1 per case in terms of difficulty to pull, and that kind of remained the case where secrets were guaranteed in a case until you reached set 6, Destroyer Kings, where they introduced a second secret rare and was not necessarily guaranteed in a case. And so after that, they started to make things a little bit more unpredictable, where you didn't know which secret you'd get in a case. Obviously, with like the most recent set 9, we have 3 secrets today in sets, and only 2 are possible to pull for the most part. So what do you think? Do you think it's in the right direction to like have more secrets per set, or do you think collectability would be more improved if they reduced it like they did back in the day, or think just keep it the way it is?
I personally, and this is the least popular opinion, but it's the best in terms for collectors and value it for players to have. I think it should be the way Destroyer Kings did it, where you only got 1 secret per case and you didn't know which one you got.
And what about in terms of like pool of secrets? Did you like it as 2, or would you want to see more secrets?
I personally am.
Because the more secrets you add, the harder it would be to pull a specific one that you'd want, obviously.
I personally feel like you can have 2 or 3, maybe even 4 secrets per set. I feel like would be the most you should do. But I personally think if you have 2 or 3 secrets in a set, I think you should only have 1 secret per case. And if you have 4 secrets in a set, you should have 2 secrets in a case. That's my opinion, because I feel like it would make things so chase. Like the Broly was like $100, and then people realized that you can only get 2 per case, or one out of the 2 per case. Immediately jumped up to 200, and then
because a lot of people would pull the one that they didn't want, so
right,
it just drove the demand.
And in this game, people buy. It's commonly acknowledged that people buy product by cases, because in a case up until that point, you got a majority of what you wanted in a case. You got a majority of what you, and you got both. You got the secret or both secrets in the case. Very rarely would you pull duplicate secrets, like with set 4. I've heard of rumors where people pull double Goku Jr. and double Demigra, but at least you had 2 secrets, and for most of the time, the Demigra and the Goku Jr. shared a similar value, so people would just trade it across, or they would sell their extra to buy the other. Now it's a little different, but basically, I think it was great, which is why like the Broly now is still like $200. The Broly it peaked at like almost 500 for a while, and that was cool because it was value. I think that's a healthy thing, because of value. And value in a game is healthy. I just know the community didn't like it. They liked the way they were before.
Yeah. I'm spending this money in a case. I want every card, so I don't have to worry about buying it separately later.
Yeah, I know what the popular opinion is, but I know what like the collectible opinion is. Like Broly and Boo are still valuable, even though they're not seeing any play, because of how difficult it is to pull them. There is almost an asterisk on difficulty to pull those, because you could buy in theory 5 cases and not pull, you statistically have a chance of not pulling the card. You have a 20% chance, but there's a 20% chance you will not pull a Broly from buying 5 cases.
I think you told me back in the day, like when your shop had like, I don't remember how many cases it was for set 6. But like a lot of them weren't even the Broly's that were pulled; they were the Majin Boos, right?
Yeah. Out of I think it was 8 cases, 3 were Broly's and 5 were Boos.
Yeah.
And I remember 4 consecutive cases were Boos, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, that's nuts. And then the fifth one was a Broly, the sixth one was a Broly, then a Boo, then another Broly. But still, the Boo was, to me, it looked like the Boo was the more common one. But then I heard stories in other stores and other places where it was the way around, which shows that there is an even distribution. Probably it's just that out of the batch that you got, was that batch evenly just, you know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
And I thought that was cool. I like the chase in that. Now they do 2 out of 3 secrets per case, which I think is a balance between the extreme that I want and what the community wants. I think doing 2 out of 3 is fine. I just don't want them to do guarantees. I don't like guarantees because then it makes the case technically more valuable, in my opinion. If you think of collectibility, like the reason why a TOP case is so collectible, in my opinion, is because you're guaranteed 4 signatures in a secret from that case. You're guaranteed. With the condition, you're not guaranteed, but you're guaranteed to get those. So that to me is crazy to me, that you can just buy one sealed case that says Tournament of Power on it, has that cardboard stamp from Bandai, and has the distribution tape on it that says GTS or Alliance, and just looking at the case, you're guaranteed an Awakened Power and four signatures. And
I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed every card, right? Except maybe the foil variants for
right,
uncommons.
Right, you're guaranteed every card except for the foil variations. And while that's cool, it makes, if you notice that how much is a sealed box of TOP? It's 1,000 right now for a box. A case is probably it's non-existent. Nobody's selling a case right now because people are just like, I already have my guarantee. And it's crazy to me because the combined 4 signatures and the Victory Strike Raw right now don't even equal 1,000, which is crazy to me. So
yeah, I think when you had talked about like even 4 secrets possibly, but only you could get 2 of them, we've actually had that. The Salt of Saiyans, you had 4 signatures, but you can only get 2 in a case.
Right.
So that was the closest we got to that ever happening. Obviously, it's not the secret rarity, but similar types of pulls. Mm-hmm. So we've actually kind of had Bandai do that, where you weren't guaranteed 2 out of the 4 signatures in a case. So we've definitely seen some of that too. We've seen up to 3 secrets in a set, but only 2. Who knows if they'll continue that or if they're going to keep trying new things. I'm with you 100%. I think adding that element of uncertainty to a case really makes it fun to chase, and obviously difficult to chase, which is what collectors like. But at the same time, you want to make sure players are happy too. So, they probably don't like that at all. So the balance of like having some in a case but not all in a case, I think is a good way that Bandai kind of try to appease both sides. So yeah. Is there any other ideas that you have to improve the collectability?
If they make reprints, they should be super limited. I feel like if you ever make a reprint in any game, if you make it limited, it doesn't hurt the collectability of the original card, nor that version of it either, because it's super limited. But if you do reprint a card, please make it an alternate. An alternate art is always nice. So kind of
like the Senzu Bean?
Yeah.
The Senzu Bean Anniversary was a limited print, and it was an alternate art.
And it was worth more than the original Sensu, which was great.
Oh, by far, yeah.
Yeah, but then they messed up and they reprinted Sensu Bean again in another different art in the Magnificent Collection, which you got a playset of, and then on top of that they reprinted it again in a Universe 6 starter deck that came with only one Sensu Bean, and it was the original Sensu Bean from Set 1. It even said Set 1 on it. Like you could hold the Set 1 Sensu Bean and then the Universe 6 starter deck Sensu Bean, and they're identical. There's no way you can tell them apart. And then when they reprinted Draft Box 4 and they reprinted cards from Set 1 in Draft Box 4, it said Set 1 on it. I did not like that at all because there's no way you can tell that it came out of Set 1. The only way you could tell that if it came out of Set 1 is that there were cards they reprinted from Set 1 that could come foil that originally in Set 1 that could not come, because Set 1 didn't do foil, common, uncommon. So the only way you can tell that copy is from Set 4 is if it's foil, or from Draft Box 4 is from foil. So I think making it easy to tell the difference in reprints is a huge thing. Fortunately, they've only done it with like smaller stuff. They haven't really reprinted like signatures or special rares or SCR like secrets. They've reprinted super rares, and I think every single super rare that's been reprinted has had a way to tell them apart. But for rares, commons, and uncommons, they dropped the ball on that. So I hope as long as super rares, signatures, special rares, you can differentiate them, I'm okay with that.
I 100%, yeah. I mean, even for me, at least when it comes to secret rares, maybe even SPRs, like just if they're never even touched, that'd be the best. And like they just leave those ones alone specifically.
I like what they did with Apex of Power. First, they never reprinted Victory Strike, but they reprinted
exactly. Yeah,
they reprinted they didn't reprint Awakened Power, but Awakened Power has this super amazing ability called Victory Strike, which is why it got coined the nickname Victory Strike. People have been asking for a reprint from day one because it was super expensive, super hard to get. Instead, they made another card called Apex of Power that had it does something completely different, but it also has that same special power that the Awakened Power does.
Yeah, it's almost like an indirect reprint, right? Where it's like a different name, different art, different set, all of those things, but just has some of the features that they borrow from the original. Like, that's okay. Like, to me, that's probably like your best way to still have those like characteristics in a new card without actually copying the card, so the original still has value.
Yeah,
so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
sure.
I think the Apex of Power was the best way to capture the all of the Awakened Power. It kind of, the only thing that upset me about it is I can't call it Victory Strike now because people ask which one are you talking about, and I'm like, damn it.
Well, I've seen people refer to it as Victory Strike 2.0 for the new one, and then if you don't say 2.0, you're usually referring to the older one. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to distinguish for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we just call one. I mean, I just call one Victory Strike and I call one Apex of Power, you know, or AOP, you know. So,
or just Apex.
Apex, yeah. I mean, there's no other card in the game that has the word Apex in a title. I freaking love that word. I remember, Mike, that was like the thing that you laughed at me. That was the one thing I liked. You're like, what? Like, it's just a cool word. Like I think of Apex Predator, so I'm like Apex of Power, because the full title just like it's Awakened Power Son Goku. The other one's Apex of Power Son Goku and Vegeta, and I'm just like, man, it's a mouthful.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I've seen some people call TOP Victory Strike and AOP Victory Strike, which I thought was kind of cool too. AOP, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that'll do it. No, I think that'll do it.
Definitely, there's ways that we think Bandai can improve. If you have any ideas for yourself, feel free to share. Or if you have any other topics, you know, about card games, video games, sports, anything at all, you know, always welcome to share with us, and we'll be happy to talk about it. Thanks again, Zeke, for your time, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys.